30 of these. Rude. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to my first and probably last video like this. I have never been one to do drama videos for views or use clickbait really, but this was something I really felt I had to talk about because as I relayed the story to everyone, I just got extremely heated. Every time I spoke about it, there was just more and more points I was bringing up. I had a lot of people agreeing with me, so I thought I'm not the only one who thinks this and I've got to get this out there and see what you guys all think, and also just hopefully create some awareness because there's a lot of issues that famous people just get away with doing things that are wrong and not fair, and people just brush it off because they're famous or they have such loyal followers that are literally like robots and they don't see anything wrong with it. So I just want to talk about that. So to start off with, I'm just going to quickly tell the story and then get into a few of the points that really grinded my gears. So yes, this is not clickbait. Jeffree Star did block me on Twitter and I just think it's absolutely ridiculous because I am a fan, not a fan of him. I love his products. I love his brutally honest reviews on YouTube. If I want to know whether a product is good, I go to him because he will give you everything you need to know and he won't lie. So I really do like him for that, and his products are always amazing. I am literally wearing, for the purpose of this video as well, Sagittarius on my lips, but Mannequin is my everyday lip product and I love his stuff. So to be blocked by someone who you actually have given hundreds of dollars to is, to me, just does not sit well. So the original tweet, he is obviously going to DragCon NYC, which is a massive event, kind of like BeautyCon, VidCon, all those things, but for drag queens, and you are there pretty much to meet them and also buy their products. Just a lot of things like that. I don't know too much about it, but buying their products is definitely part of this event, so just keep that in mind. So this person called Elizabeth is obviously excited to see him and she tweets at him, "You better snatch wigs and pop pussies when I see you at DragCon NYC while I throw dollar bills at you." So I guess I can see different interpretations of this tweet, but my first thought is this is a fan who cannot wait to see you and buy your products. What do you hear from that tweet? Because that's what I hear. And he responds, keep in mind, he doesn't have to respond to this tweet. He probably gets hundreds of tweets and some of them actually negative, which maybe reply to those ones or just block those people. But he chooses to reply to one that in my opinion is positive and enthusiastic and make it negative. So he says, "Hopefully that's a joke. Why would I want anyone throwing dollar bills at me? Lol." So pretty much he just crushes this girl in my opinion, and I'm going to keep saying in my opinion so that you can't destroy me because this is all my opinion and I'm here to find out what your opinion is as well. So to me, he literally just crushed this girl because she was excited, and I bet you she was sitting there and it popped up on her Twitter that Jeffree Star replied, and to be honest, if that happened to me, I would have gone crazy. Like, that's awesome to think that out of all of the tweets that he gets, he replied to yours. So I'd be clicking on that, being so excited, thinking, oh my god, what did he say? Did he say he loved me? Did he whatever? And then you read that. So he's throwing massive shade at you, he's dissing you, and he's basically just taking your positive tweet and making it negative and turning it into drama, which follows. So I don't know, the whole reply didn't sit well with me because he didn't need to reply to that in my opinion, and he was making it seem like, why would I want you throwing money at me because I don't need money. Haven't you seen my mansion and my 6,000 cars and my $10,000 dog? Like, I don't need your money, but you have a business, so obviously you're going to be taking people's money and there's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, so that is where it all started. And basically I saw this in my feed and I kind of couldn't believe it. I honestly thought it was fake. So I replied to him and said, bit rude. And someone else replied saying, buying your products, ? Which is insinuating that's what she means by throwing money at you. Like, how it's pretty obvious. And then someone else said, it's not that deep. She's just trying to say she's hyped to see you. Exactly. And then someone else said, I'm not sure whether it was now or after the next tweet I'm about to read, but someone else said, that's how drag queens get paid. You should know that, Jeffree. Something along those lines. And I had no idea about that, so that didn't really resonate with me, so I didn't screenshot it. But that was definitely a comment that was made somewhere. So then Jeffree pipes back up again and says, throwing dollar bills at someone is degrading and for strippers. Now there are a couple of things wrong with this. First thing, he just majorly shaded strippers, because there are a lot of people in the world who think that if you're a stripper, there's nothing wrong with that, it's not degrading, it's up to you, you know, you do what you gotta do. I personally would never do it, but I guess I'm not gonna judge anyone who does it, but I'm not gonna mention my opinion on that because I don't want to start anything. But in my opinion, that is still degrading strippers by saying that their job is degrading, and that again didn't sit well with me, because you're just, why are you causing so much drama and making so many unnecessary and rude comments from something that stemmed from an excited fan? So at that point, I think I replied again and I said, but the comment wasn't meant to be negative, so I don't understand why you're making it negative. It's pretty obvious that it was a fan who's excited to see you and excited to buy your products. So like, I'm not saying you shouldn't feel, I don't know, I'm not saying you have no right to feel how you feel, but you know that it was meant to be positive. Like, come on. So don't try and make it out like you saw it negatively, because I don't know, that's probably still going to annoy people because it still sounds like I'm telling him not to see it one way because it's another way. But I just feel like it's obvious, so you shouldn't see it in a negative way when it's not negative. That's the best I can explain it. So yeah, I pretty much said a couple of those things in a comment, and then someone said, I'm glad we can tell another person how to feel and react. Her original tweet was abrasive and he stated his opinions and feelings. They're his, let him be him. And that just annoyed me because yes, it's his feelings, but it's a fan. Why do you just want to make a fan feel bad when they weren't trying to offend you? I just think it's silly, and honestly, he probably blocked that fan too, which is really stupid. And so I basically just replied to this guy and said, I get it can be interpreted negatively, but it wasn't meant to be. So I don't see why you would make it negative, because that's my real point here. It's just, I know I can see it from both views, but why see it from one view when it's pretty obvious it was meant in another way, because they're a fan and they can't wait to see you. So you don't have to take it as a negative comment when it's positive. I'm gonna keep saying that, I'm sorry, but please let me know if you know what I mean. So at that point, I was just kind of replying back and forth with that guy, but there was maybe only 1 or 2 replies and I was just pretty much repeating myself. And then I thought, you know what? Jeffree's tweets, I can't refresh them anymore. This is kind of weird. And I went over and yes, Jeffree Star had blocked me. So basically for me, just sticking up for this fan and actually not really saying anything negative about Jeffree, just saying that he didn't need to be offended by something that wasn't intended to be offensive. And I think that was a pretty fair statement to make. There was a lot of other people saying this and agreeing with me, but I think probably out of that situation, at least 5 people would have got blocked from Jeffree, so I couldn't imagine his block list. But that is basically the story, and I just think it's ridiculous. And I put it straight onto my Instagram story and I had so many people saying, what? Oh my god, why? Oh my god, why? People messaging me saying, perfect story time. And now I wasn't going to make a video, but because of how heated it got me and how many opinions I had on it, I decided I needed to, because as I said at the start, these are things that need to be talked about. So in my opinion, if you have a fan base, you need to think about how you're treating them, because these are the people, these people made you. These people, like, yes, I don't know, he would probably like to say that he made himself, but like without your fans, your purchasers, buyers, you wouldn't be where you are. You have to appreciate them, and if they are being enthusiastic and excited to see you, why would you shut them down? I just don't understand. Honestly, if it were me, I just think, don't reply to that tweet. If you think that tweet is negative, don't reply to it. Search and find a positive one, even though that was a positive one, but find one that you interpret as positive and just reply to that one. Like, there's no reason for you to reply to that person, create drama there that wasn't necessary, especially because the tweet was positive. Just, you can see it gets me heated. This is pretty much like a rant, but I hope you see where I'm coming from, that if you have a fan base, you have to think about every reply you make. You have to think and read something and think about how it was meant to be interpreted, not just interpret it in a way that you want to just to make drama. For someone who says that he wants to stay away from drama, he always finds himself in it or he creates it. And in this situation, he created this. This was not necessary, and it was unfair to the person who made that original tweet. And I'd love to know how they felt about it, to be honest, because maybe they didn't care or maybe they were crushed. I don't know, but I just think it is so unfair. And as I've said a million times, I just think don't make drama out of nothing, and makes me so angry. And then I had one person who replied to me on Instagram and said, I wouldn't want someone throwing dollar bills at me, especially considering how much he's worth. I'm like, just because you're worth millions of dollars, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't want more money, or not want more money, but like, you have a business, you're going to be making more money. So I thought that was just interesting opinion, but I don't agree with it. So I just basically repeated everything I've said to you guys. It's an event to buy his products, so throwing money. And also drag queens, which I forgot to mention, yes, my friend Lucas told me that is how drag queens get paid. They perform and people throw dollar bills at them. So that is something that Jeffree Star definitely would have or should have known. So it's a bit shady for him to respond like that, knowing that, in my opinion, as well. And then I said it's how they are paid and it's completely normal, and I just think it's a horrible embarrassment to someone who's clearly a fan, and he didn't need to make that situation so public. And yeah, basically she just said he just gives no Fs, and I'm like, that's not an excuse. Just because you don't care, like, you are in the public eye, you're famous, you have to care. Like, you have to care how you make fans feel. You have to, yes, they have to care how they make you feel, but I think if you were offended by that person's tweet, you could have replied in a nicer way. Honestly, you just never know who is behind that tweet or computer screen. It could be a very, very fragile young child, maybe 12, maybe 14, and you don't understand what your tweet or response or anything could do to them. And I know people might say, people that young shouldn't be watching Jeffree, but they are. They are watching everyone and they are learning, and if you turn around and absolutely crush them, you could leave them damaged for years. Like, you need to think about that. My sister actually made a good comment when I messaged her about it, saying people aren't taught how they need to address and speak to fans in situations like this. And maybe that's true. Maybe people do actually have to have lessons on misinterpreting tweets or addressing fans, and I don't know. I'm gonna stop talking because I didn't actually want this to be super long, but even just getting through the story with my little chime in points, I just ended up being long. But I pretty much have said all I can say. I just think you have to really think about something before you post it, because yes, that person made a tweet that you took in a negative way, but the only way to take your response is negative. There's no way to misinterpret your tweet. It is negative, it is rude, it is shady, and it is, in my opinion, unnecessary. So that's all I have to say. Again, I love Jeffree Star. I own about 30 of these. Rude. He's bringing out a Skin Frost palette, which I'm probably going to buy. But as a person, he's done too many things, and he says sorry, and he says he's changed, but you haven't. Like, you've changed some aspects of yourself, but he hasn't completely changed, and I just think it's about time he actually makes a change. So yeah, I will still probably buy his products when something amazing comes out, and I will still continue to watch his reviews, but as a person, I am not his biggest fan. So come for me, minions, if you have anything to say, but I don't think I've been particularly horrible. I haven't really said anything crazy offensive to him. I just think this whole situation was unnecessary, and I think people need to know about it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was entertaining to see me get very frustrated and want to rip my hair out. Make sure you give it a big thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and subscribe to my channel if you are new. And I hope you're having an absolutely amazing day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys!